Thank you. Thank you for your service, and it was unfortunate circumstance, but we're glad that you're here. Incompetence can't be tolerated, especially for the taxpayers of the American public. So I'm going to finish up with Mr. Loudermilk's little soliloquy on the escalator. You know, it's one thing to make new materials for an escalator. It might be a little different thing to make them for elevators. It's a little bit more at stake there. It's called gravity. Can you tell me, because we're doing the same kind of things here, that the elevators aren't working? Are you facing the same problems that you're dealing with the escalators, or what's the issue with the escalators, elevators being out?
Yes, sir. Thank you for the question. So generally speaking, we have a lot of similarities with the elevators versus the escalators. The elevators, as of this morning, we checked before it came in, there's 85 across the House Office Building jurisdiction, and 83 of them are functional as of today.
I think those two just follow me around.
Well, I can't speak for the specific two you're talking about. There are two that are down in the Rayburn building at the moment. Yes, sir.
Guess I'll be going there.
The issues with some of these elevators are, in the case of, say, the Longworth building, they're 90 years old. And some components have been replaced over the years and some have not. And certainly any time we're trying to maintain those, as you pointed out, elevators have an increased risk. I will say, and I'd like to make this as a blanket statement for both elevators and escalators, that anyone who's riding those is safe. So we don't have any issues as far as the safety aspects of them. As far as the functionality, some outages are mechanical issues, which falls on the Arc to the Capitol. Some of the outages we've had recently were a result of some of the proximity card readers. When those go out, they have to be adjusted with a House Sergeant at Arms, and we work with them to make sure that's there. But how we're trying to fix this is to get ahead of this issue. Yeah. Is that we are working in kind of three different ways. One, we're installing a new monitoring system for all of the House Office Building elevators. There used to be a monitoring system a few years back, but because of the age of the components, it could no longer be secured against cyber threats, and so we took that system offline. This new system is hardened against cyber threats, and we're installing it as we speak. It is a multi-year contract, but what that gets us is it gets us better real-time data so that when we have an elevator that goes down, our elevator mechanics can respond right away. It also allows us to fix small, easy issues, like if the door is held open too long and it makes the elevator reset, we can reset that elevator from remotely, which we can't do right now. So that will fix part of that. Second thing is we have a multi-million-dollar program that we're doing component restoration on these elevators, similar to one that we're currently doing with the Senate, but we'll be going around replacing major components. That began funding in FY25, and we have money set aside for FY26 and beyond to continue that program. Beyond that, we're also ensuring we have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week coverage. When Congress is in session, that includes an elevator mechanic 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When Congress is not in session, our elevator mechanics can't maintain.
Are those in-house people?
Those are in-house mechanics. We have both in-house and contracted mechanics. When Congress is out of session, we'll have someone who responds right away, but they may have to call someone to do the elevator-specific repairs.
How much time do I got? Oh, 5 minutes? Okay, good. I want to follow it just up on that, because I think, especially with the escalators, if we're spending more money fixing them, let's just do a flash dance in August, fix them all, and, people have to do their thing, but we don't need to be spending money where we should be just investing in fixing it, and I'm sure that you can get back with us. Real quickly, just on the cybersecurity issue, the Capitol Power Plant is just down the street. And that obviously in today's world of espionage and cyber attacks is an issue that we have to keep our place safe. And I just wondered if you could, as much as you can in detail, talk about how you help confront any of the cyber security details at the power plant.
Sure. I'll preface this by saying there's some aspects that I don't want to give out in a public forum, but we'd be happy to meet with you in a private and give you more details. What I can say publicly is that overall, the first line defense is that any of our systems, our computer systems at Capitol Power Plant, is what we call air gap. They are not connected to the larger internet. We have also instituted what's called a zero trust architecture and closed loop. And what it means by that is anything that comes onto that separate system has to be permanently or physically let onto the system, be allowed to actually operate, just can't automatically connect. So by doing that, we reduce the amount of systems that actually can connect to it and reduce the threat of anything happening to that system. But we have kind of made the choice to disconnect ourselves from the larger internet for our building control systems so that they are not vulnerable to hackers on the outside. And then anything that could be imported into it, again, we have that zero trust architecture to make sure that we have to save those manually permitted on.
Sadly, we have to pay so much more money into that. Can I ask one more quick question? Just, you had requested now $200 million for the botanical gardens. That's like 10 times what was before. Can you just elaborate on why that's a need?
So I think it's a good point to bring up. The Botanic Garden is more than just what's here on campus. There is what we call a production facility, which is in the District of Columbia, a place called Blue Plains. That provides most of the plants, does a lot of the work, exchanges between what's actually in season at the conservatory and then what is actually being produced out at the production facility. When we took that over about 30 years ago, when we took that over, that facility was renovated from an existing one, was built for us because it was land exchange between us and the District of Columbia. What this project was for the production facility was a complete renewal of that production facility, redoing all of the greenhouses, all the mechanical systems, all of the infrastructure for that facility. That's what that program was for. It's sort of similar to the challenges we have here on campus, is that most of those mechanical and plumbing electrical systems are original and need to be replaced.
Great, thank you.